this. I just sent her the link, so she should be dropping in right now. Okay, here she go. Add. Okay. Peace. Okay. There you go. Peace, peace. What's good? What's good?
I was like, because I didn't want to be defeated by technology. I'm like, no, we have to make
Okay.
this.
Right.
It's just
No,
like,
no, it's all good. It's all good. I figured it was like some small issue or whatever like that.
yeah,
Yeah. Just sitting here, just relaxing. Trying to decide, am I gonna go out and like I said, I got this bag that's just piling up. I got some pillows and stuff in there. I think I'm gonna give to the homeless brothers and sisters. So I might do that. I might do that before the afternoon. How are you? How are you doing? Huh? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm glad to see your face.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, your skin looking good. You glowing,
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so
and
much.
I could tell the nose feel you did because your nose right here is extra exfoliated.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, I got the little
Uh
nose
huh.
things. And I
Yeah.
said, you know what? My daughter was telling me about them. I said, let me pick up some. And
Hmm.
yeah, I can see the difference. It like
Yeah.
work really quick, when you use it right. Yeah. Thank you. You shine, you
Hmm.
shining too. You glowing. And you know what's good is that we wake up like this, right? When you wake up like this in the morning, I
I
didn't even
know.
do anything yet,
I
but
didn't do
yeah,
anything yet either.
wow, wow. It's incredible. Yeah, incredible when we take care of ourselves and we practice, skincare, which self-love, and involves self-care and all of that stuff, skincare. It's incredible. You feel good about yourself. You don't have to wait for anybody to really tell you. When people do tell you, it's a compliment, and you give them a compliment, they look good, and be around people who look good, right? Because it rubs off on you. It rubs off on you. Oh, you seen that? It
Yeah.
rubs off on you, and I think everyone is beautiful. Everyone has their own beauty. They just have to find it and rock with it. You understand?
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
do. I was gonna ask you because I want to understand how this software works better. This thing,
Yeah.
does it record automatically?
Yeah, right now we're recording, but it's what you
Oh,
call
perfect.
yeah, it's called the pre-record. So it's just only me and you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I like to
just
do
me.
pre-record unless we have like a Pacific audience or something like that. I like to do pre-records. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Right, right.
That's cool though. I like it because that way when okay, well we can do this because then when it's done, you can always send it to me, and then I could transcribe it later with the software.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, that's right. That's why I love it. That's why I love it. Incredible. You know what I mean? And then, we put it out, and people who's attracted to it will watch it or share it or press like. I mean, some
Uh
people do it the
huh.
opposite way, where they just get online and do a live, right? No, you don't have no audience. You do a live, only 6 people show up, and then you're angry. But that was kind of on you because no one knew. It's like throwing a party and giving out no invitations, and then you're angry when only 2 people show up or
Yeah.
nobody shows up. You know what I mean?
Or I would also say it's like throwing a party and you spent all this time not talking to nobody, not being social at all, not
Right.
engaging with anybody. And then you wake up one day and say, you know what, I want to throw a party. And then you expect the whole block to be there. It's like, you don't even talk to people. Like,
That's
crazy.
true. That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah, I mean, that's
So,
really applicable to social media. And I think it's funny that now they teach it to people with influencer culture. But I'm
mhm.
like, to me, it was always like that since MySpace days. It's like, yo,
Right.
if you join my page, if you follow my page, if you subscribe to my page, whatever it is, especially when I had more time in my life to be
Yeah.
on social media, it was like I'm gonna personally thank you, just like I would if you came to my if you sent me mail in the mail or
Absolutely.
came to visit me or whatever. It's like just normal protocols. Like You're not gonna just take it for granted and just treat people like, "Yeah, you better subscribe." Like, what? You know what I mean? And it's like the way you treat people is the way you get it back. So I feel like
Right,
the realest, most authentic tastemakers, we naturally just are good people. We're great people. Like we understand,
right,
like you just said, the beauty of people, and we speak to that in a person. So when we engage with them, we're reminding them that we see them for who they are, and then they reciprocate that by subscribing or supporting, whatever.
right,
But it's because of the exchange. It's not this like, entitlement complex or delusional, complex that a lot of people have where it's like they think people owe them subscribes and follows and all that. It's like no. If you put out something beautiful in the world, the people that can see it will always come. But you can't
you
just
can
expect
gravitate
things
towards.
and do nothing, you
Yeah,
know.
they're gonna always gravitate towards it, and that's the way you should want it to be, right? Because I don't want people on my page that don't really want to be there, right? I don't
Right.
want them there because some people will make it seem like they're stuck on your channel, right? That they can't go anywhere or they're stuck on your content. Oh, why do I keep seeing this content? You keep seeing the content because you keep sneaking over to the person's page and the
Sneak.
algorithm sees you. Nothing's a secret, right?
Algorithm
Nothing's a
sees you.
Yeah, the universe has an algorithm that sees everything, right? And so does the internet. So you're sneaking over to a person's page to see if they said anything
Mhm.
about you, and then you wondering why their stuff is popping up on your feed because you're sneaking over there, and then you're flaring up your anxiety even more. So really, when we see that we're doing all everything to ourselves, then we stop. We know that we have the control to stop. We
Yeah,
just
like
stop.
I like that Facebook has this feature now called restriction. Have you seen that?
Yes, yes,
So, and like, so if I stop dealing with somebody, but I don't necessarily care about blocking them per se, I
yes.
love that I could just restrict them, and in that moment, the minute I do that energetically, it's like I'm not putting no blockages. You know what I'm saying? If you want to come to my page, you can. If you want to help my algorithm, you
I
can.
feel
But
you. I
guess what?
feel
I
you.
won't be doing. I won't see you. I won't see any reference of you. I won't even have a clue that you're on here doing anything because I'm not gonna come to your page. So therefore, like, once they
That's
made
real.
that,
That's real.
I was like, "Yeah, I love the restriction button because it's better than blocking." Because I realized too something. Now this is metaphysics of social media right now. This is some only OGs
Okay.
can understand this. This is for the
Right,
OGs in
right,
social
right.
media world.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
realized something about blocking, right? Because when I used to block people. I mean, I've done it throughout the years plenty of times. I'm not saying I wouldn't, because you could still get blocked. You know what I mean? But
Right,
like
right,
now,
right, right.
I don't quickly block people at all because of the restriction button. And the reason why is because I started realizing that the key to blocking is that when you start blocking on social media, you still energetically create a bond with that person because you have this list of people that you're blocking, right? But by you
Mm.
blocking
That's
them, you're
true.
designating them as somebody that you have a blockage with, right? And so I started, no, for real, it's like, yo, this is metaphysical. I was like, these niggas are smart. I was like, they found a way to be like, we gonna create a way to
Yes.
generate like soul tie connections with people where we
Mm.
can even track the soul tie connection because this the thing. When you energetically really release somebody, you release them from the block too.
Right,
Because
right.
high key, you just having them blocked is still attaching you to them. You got a special list in your Facebook saying, I don't want to see this person. They're blocked. But by you doing that, they're still real to you. Right. And then
Mm.
every time you go through that list and you look and see who's on your block list, you remembering them, you thinking about them, you remembering the shit they did to get blocked. So then I started realizing over
That's a
time, I was
fact.
like,
That's a
dang,
fact.
this is a mental trap because if I block so and so, I'm actually still attached to their ass. So, so
No,
I started realizing
that
I
makes a
started
lot of
realizing over
sense.
time,
Makes a lot of
I was
sense.
like, yeah, but the restriction, I like that. Oh no, this my phone.
Huh?
I realized over time, I was like, the restriction is better because that's actually more direct. It's me saying, I'm restricting you from
Yes.
coming in my cipher, right?
Mm.
I don't want to see you. I
Like
don't want to
that. Yeah.
know nothing about your stories. I don't want to see your
That's
posts coming
it.
across my timeline
Yeah.
because
That's
I'm
it.
going to control myself. I'm not going to come to your page. That's guaranteed, right? So I
Right.
don't need to block you. I'm blocking. I don't need to block us, like put a block between us. I'm just
Yes.
going to
Yeah.
restrict you. I'm going to put you on the restriction list.
No.
Therefore,
Mm.
your boundary is that if you want to come patronize my page and bring me uh focus, which helps my
Mhm.
algorithm, you can. Right? Because in real life, you can't
Yeah,
control that. Like, if I walk outside and I don't like my neighbor down the street, do I get to actually block them from seeing my face? No. Do I actually
no,
get,
you don't.
but I
No, you
can
don't.
restrict them from coming into my quarters. I can
Yes, you
restrict them
can.
from coming through my gate. I can restrict them from feeling like they can come talk to me. You know what I mean? And I think that
Right,
that's why restriction is even better than blocking on social media channels because I feel like it's a more direct way to handle people you don't want to engage with, but it doesn't block. So it doesn't create a blockage within yourself
right.
where you feel like these are people I'm mad at. These are people I don't like, because that's to me what blocking was like I don't deal with this person because this and
Yeah,
that and that. Like actually, there's nobody that I dislike that much that deserves to be on that list in real life. You just get restricted. You know what I mean? So anyway,
right.
that's how I feel
Absolutely.
about it.
No, no, it makes a lot of sense when you think about it, right? Because, like you said, when you go to the block list, now you're thinking of, you're bringing back the old memories, right? And when you bring back old memories and you think about old stuff, you kind of relive it again, right? So every time you think about those 30 people or those 20 people you got blocked, you kind of reliving the incident all over
Yeah,
again. You know,
yeah,
our bodies and our minds don't know the difference. So, right. So you're right. So not to put yourself through that, a restriction would be even better. That's a greater
yeah,
suggestion. So
yeah,
people out there, you listening to this, you don't have to block people because you might be doing more harm to yourself by blocking the person than just
yeah.
restricting them. Just restrict them. That's all.
Yeah, yeah, and it's literally perfect because you really don't see them, and then this is why it's a G check mechanism because if you
Okay.
see them, that means you went to their page, right? So now you got to look at your own self. Like, do you really want to restrict them? Because if you want to restrict them, why are you on their page? But like you said, the
Right. Right.
sneaking on their page thing. So it's like then that's for you to see your own self, right?
Yeah.
So it puts you back in your center because now it's like, okay, the only way I would actually see you is if I went to you. And now if that's the case, now I'm not being real with myself then if I or do I want to make amends with you? Do I like
Mm,
miss you and want you back in my reality? Or am I
right.
be having low self respect and literally allowing myself to be on your page when I know you don't even respect me? Like, it make you have to do the
Right.
work
No.
to really be honest with yourself about what is really
Yeah.
happening with this person, you know.
Hmm. No, no, you're absolutely right. And some people just like to be messy. Like I see some people, right? They have like this internet beef, but then they're on each other's friends list. So I don't quite understand that, right? How can and it's like this in real life too, right? Because I know some people who don't get along with each other, but then they hang out in the same circles. I'm like, how is that possible? How can you not get along with somebody, but you're passing a cigarette back and forth to the person, but you don't like them? Like how, like, are you drinking cups of alcohol with a person that you dislike? How can that be safe? Like, why do people do that? And then online, right? People like, all right, someone will invite one person to their page or whatever, but then they have someone on the panel that person doesn't get along with, and they can't clearly see that's a setup. They can't,
Yeah,
whether the person set it up for that purpose, but either way it was a setup. Right, now we can look at
yeah,
it both ways. You can look at it the negative way, or you can look at it a more higher up way and say, you know what, maybe the universe put me in this person's present to heal a wound, and then just keep it moving. Right, because people think
right,
that we always have to be the best of buddies when that's not really true. If you can gain something from me, then I'm like, okay,
right.
but we don't have to be like best friends. And I think that's a lot of times people bump heads.
For sure. And I think also that goes back to toxic culture though, because a lot of people are addicted to toxic culture. They feed off of it. They think it's funny. They think it's fun.
Mhm.
And don't get me wrong, I think a small dose of watching realism is necessary. Like, yeah, sometimes it makes sense to be like wanting to know what's going on in certain environments and just being aware. But
True.
that's
True.
different than somebody who's every day feeding their mind with this reality that is called toxic culture. And what I've noticed is that people that subscribe to that, like they want to watch the shows where somebody's bringing on somebody to set them up to get into an argument, right? Or they want to watch the shows where somebody's on purpose trying to instigate like a fight and stuff like that.
Right.
People that
Right.
watch that they almost always mirror that lifestyle in their real life, and then it makes it hard for them to be in harmonious relationships with people because that's what they expect because they've trained their subconscious mind to see life that way. You know,
Right.
I had a relative, for instance, one time, and I didn't know them that well, and I got a short time to meet them,
Mm.
and I noticed that they watched. Um, like Atlanta Housewives and like all those shows a lot, like the shows where women are always fighting each other,
Right.
right? And there was an incident where they misread me. They completely misread me, but it was because what I said or did made them
Right.
think of somebody on that show, and
Mm.
it was because of their perception. It was 100% inaccurate of a read, but
Right.
because their mind saw everything through the lens of women being the way that that show would portray women, I remember being so disappointed and being like, "Damn, we should be able to be cool. Like, I would love for us to be close, but I
Right.
know the reason why we can't." And so for me, even though we didn't fall out or nothing, we just had a little friction. But it was like one of those reminders of like what you feed your mind dictates your reality, and there's only so much you can do about what somebody else feeds their mind. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
That's,
because
that's
you could be I give an example. Like a man, say you're the type of man. This is a perfect example, right? Say as a man, you're the type, and you actually are. I know you are, but say you're the type. You open the door for a woman, right?
right.
You see a woman coming, you open the door for her. Like easy, simple. You're not even thinking about it. You just open the door, holding it for her, right?
Yeah.
Now, if she has a healthy mindset, she's gonna say thank you. She's gonna appreciate it because she's gonna be like, "Hey, every man doesn't do that anymore, like they used to back in the day." She's
Sure.
gonna take a pause and just say thank you, just simple, right? Because she appreciates you being chivalrous, right?
Right.
Now, if that same woman, if a different woman has that toxic programming from feminism and things where she's
Mhm.
told that you're trying to control her, you're trying to like you're trying to assume she can't open her own door, you know, you're trying to exert your power and authority over her, like all this negative shit. She gonna be mad at you. She's gonna have an attitude like, I can have my own door. I don't need you to open my door. She gonna be looking at you like you just spit on her. Like she gonna treat you like
No,
you a simp.
no,
And
no,
it's
no.
like, what
Yeah,
the fuck?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's true. That's true.
And that's
Not to
exactly
cut
my
you.
point. You could
Yeah,
be literally righteous out here doing something that is beautiful out here in
right.
these streets, right? And niggas, people will literally treat you like you are disrespecting them. You are
Yeah,
being fucked up just because of their programming, and that's the part that it mind boggles me sometimes. You know?
yeah, yeah. Seriously, it does. It does. But yeah, I had met a woman one time that like it seemed like she would like go in front of the door so I wouldn't hold it open for her. But you absolutely right. Some people are not used to that, and they might think that you're trying to control them or quote unquote outshine the master when they have that complex like that. You understand? No, I can open the door. I can do this. I can do that. When you're just trying to make it easier for the woman. Yeah, I'm just trying to make it easier for you. Like I was at the supermarket, right?
Hmm.
With a friend, many friends at the supermarket, and it was a black lady in back of me, and my stuff was like rolling on the counter, and I'm telling her, I'm like, well, you can put your stuff there. So I moved my stuff out the way, and she's holding all the groceries in her hand. Like she didn't say no to me, but she looked like she didn't even hear what I said. And I'm saying like, wow, so sometimes, certain mentality people make it hard for themselves because she could have just put her groceries there and then put the little bar in between so it wouldn't get mixed up. But she made it hard on herself. And I'm pretty sure she was like, oh, who this nigga think he is? And blah, blah, blah. The mentality. And then probably when she got out the store, because sometimes we wrestle with ourselves. Sometimes people say, Dag, I should have let him help me. Why didn't I let him or her help me? When that is the right thing to do because it would have just took some stress off of you. But
Hmm.
sometimes we make it hard for ourselves, like you said, based on the mentality that we have, right? We think that we're
Yeah,
being strong, but we're really being weak, right?
yeah,
Because it takes a strong person to ask for help.
true story. That's a good
So
quote.
right. So a lot of
Um,
people feel like I'm not going to ask for help because it makes me seem weak.
yeah,
But you don't know the injustice that you're doing for yourself because you're going to remain dumb because you don't want to ask for help. You don't want to ask anything. You don't know anything, but you don't want to ask anything. And then you're going to remain ignorant to a lot of stuff in this world.
It takes a
You
strong
know?
person to ask for help. I love that quote.
Yeah, I realized that myself growing up. You
Yeah.
don't want to ask for help because you're like, nah, I don't want people to talk about me. I don't want people to say this. But you notice, but then somewhere you notice the people that's not scared to ask for help, it's the people that's progressing in life.
Oh
Cause
yeah,
they
yeah.
like,
Matter of fact, they not even asking her time. They delegating. Okay,
yes.
delegation. you know.
Look, look, sis, I was in the supermarket yesterday, right? And I had left my other card in the house, right? So I had my one debit card on me, and I think it had like $30 on it or something, right? So I think my stuff came up to like 35, and I had like four yogurts, right? So there's like 4 for $5, and I was like, all right, I got yogurt in the house, so I don't need it. I could just do without it. So I told the lady, I don't want it, right? So it was an African lady there that totally surprised me because she was saying something to me. I think she said, "How much is it?" I didn't understand what she was saying, so I said, "Huh?" And she said, I have it." She paid for it for me. So it's just like, wow, you never know when you allow people to be who they are.
Yeah.
You never imagine the magic that could happen,
Exactly.
right? I didn't ask for the help, but I allowed her to help me. I allowed her to
Yeah.
be who she was. You know what I mean? If
And,
I ever see her
yeah.
again, help, I'm gonna help her. I'm gonna repay her if I ever see her again. You know?
And it also is a reminder of the power of how energy works. Like
Yeah.
when we never lose anything we put into the universe. That's why there's
Mhm.
no such thing as lost love, and that's why, like, I don't care how many times I might have ever felt heartbroken or disappointed in love relationships. I never ever would give up on love because I'm like,
Mhm.
I can't lose my love. It can never be lost. Like, what? That's not even possible. My love is always coming to me. So it's like if it don't come through whoever I gave it to, it'll just come through whoever's supposed to come through. But it's gonna always come. It's my love. You
Right.
know what I
Right.
mean? And it's like when you out giving love all day, every day in different forms, it's gonna come back to you. And maybe you might not never see her again, but you can give it to the person you're supposed to give it to. And then,
Right. I
and that's
believe
the
that
point
fully.
of it. Yeah, that's dope. I love that. Yeah,
Right.
I
Right.
I love I love stuff like that. I feel like moments like that are those reminders of why you choose to be who you are, despite
Right.
what life hits you with, because you still get to choose how you react to life. But
That's
things
true.
like that remind you because some people don't get those type of stories, but they also don't self reflect to see how they are sometimes. You know what I mean? Like maybe you
No.
don't get those types of moments because you frown a lot all day and
Mhm.
you're like mean and short with people or you're closed off with your body language and people don't
That's
think
true.
they can approach you at all. Like, they don't a lot of times people don't look at the other aspects of why their life is how it is. But yeah, that's dope. I'm not surprised though. I'm not surprised somebody did that for you. Like, of course.
Yeah, yeah. And I
You
was
know?
like, wow. And that was so nice of her. And two, like a lot of times when people are offering us love and love energy, and when we turn it down, a lot of times what we're telling the universe is the universe doesn't know what it's doing or doesn't know what it's talking about because we like turned it down like nah, I'm good. And a lot of people handicap themselves like that, right? I seen two like texts on Instagram, right? One was the rapper that I think he's from Atlanta. He was talking about, oh, it's no help. I'll be something. There's no help out here. You got to get it from the mud and do all this stuff. And I was like, that's not totally entirely true because you do have some people out here that will help you. I witnessed it with the lady with the $5, right? And other
Yeah,
times too. But when people have it in their mind that it's no help, I got to get everything on my own, no new friends, this, that, the third, they kind of
yeah,
like box themselves in, kind
yeah,
of box themselves in because it's always going to be help out here. Maybe you're
right,
getting the help from the wrong people, which is technically not help, but it kind of reminds me like when you're on the basketball court, you always have help. Like they
right.
tell you, yo, you got to help, you got to help, stop hogging the ball, you got to help, you got to help. You're always going to have help. It's just what you do with the help. Just what you do with it.
Yeah. And it's funny you said the No New Friend thing because when that song came out, the Drake song, I remember being like, the way I interpret that is like there really are no new friends in life because everybody you're meeting is already an old friend, and
Okay.
like if you can just recognize them, the ones that are your friends from past timelines will come
Right.
back to you in this timeline. You know what I mean? So it's like you can be on your no new friends if you think of it from that consciousness. Like there really
Right.
are no new friends because all my friends are my old friends because it's
Gotcha.
literally just recycling of the same energies. You know, and
That's true.
sometimes too, like I've also learned when it comes to friendships, sometimes you might have to split paths with somebody you had a friendship with in a different
Right.
timeline, and maybe y'all never cross paths again. Maybe y'all really just stop being friends type thing. But that spirit, that energy, that frequency
Mhm.
that y'all shared, that type of personality even that they have, if you're really meant to have that same type of person in your life, that will come in a different form later. And then when you meet them, you'll recognize them because you'll be like, oh snap. In your mind, you'll be like, I know you because I met you before, but maybe in a different person. Maybe it was literally a different person. Like the
Right.
body, the edifice was different, but the energy would be the same. And like I feel like that's one of the way that the universe, and some people even say the matrix, upgrades your life is because sometimes the people you journey with in different timelines can't go with you to the other timelines because y'all agreements have changed. But that thing that you receive from that engagement, you could still receive in a different timeline, but it'll be
Mhm.
from a different person. So maybe like you had the friend in high school who was the one that was like really fun to be around. Y'all could like laugh and like, hang out all day. But then
Right.
you got to the point where the way you wanted to have fun changed. Like maybe you didn't want to go to the party all the time. You wanted to go to the library and like
Mhm.
study books about some topic. And they were like, no, I still want to go to the party. So yeah, stop being cool like that. But you still got love for them, right? So then maybe like down the line, you meet somebody else that you literally enjoy time with, but maybe y'all do that in the library. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So
Yeah.
it'll be like the same um level of joy that you got from the friend that you used to go to parties with, but now you get that same joy at the library. You know
Right.
what I
Right.
mean? And
Right.
so
That's,
it's like I
that's
feel
true.
like that's what makes life so fun when you just can look at it like that and you're not trying to constrict the friend that wants to go to the club all the time. It's like go to the club. Maybe you should own a club. Matter of fact, when you
Yeah.
want to go buy the building, come holler at me. Like we could do some real estate together,
No
baby.
doubt. No doubt.
But like it's like if you look at it like that, you're never losing friends and you're never really gaining friends. You're just remembering your friends, along the way. It's like you're recognizing them when they come and you're staying receptive to the different forms they come in. But it's not new friends really. Anyway, that's
No,
kind
no,
of how I
no,
look at
no, no. What you say makes a lot of sense because we're energy beings, right? We're not this flesh. We're really energy. So energy has the ability to jump from thing to thing or person to person. So you're absolutely right. When we look at each other as energy, right? And sometimes people get caught up on the beauty and the looks and the jewelry and the money of people and look at them as that when they're more than that. You understand? And based on certain people's mentality, they do trap themselves in this body. They keep themselves trapped in the physical body based on their mentality. But when you're thinking higher than that, you can matter of fact, it was a book that Malachi Z. York has. I think it was Wiz Hell, something about the spiritual realm. And like he
it.
said, you have the ability to jump out your body anytime you want, and because we're energy, we're
Yeah.
energetic, and sometimes we're not in our bodies and sometimes we're not in our minds. Like when we're thinking of something lustful, we're more so in our body than our mind, so we do have the ability to be different places. So yeah, that's cool, man. That's awesome.
I think I realized that too about even with love relationships, like
Yeah.
the twin flame philosophy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So and also with twin flame philosophy, it says that usually it tells people there's only one twin flame. Like each person has a twin flame, there's one twin flame. But also I think it has to do with your soul. Like some people's souls are like their purpose is bigger than even just like one life in this life. So they have like multiple lives, or whatever. But what I think is, what I've learned over time, I think you're your own twin flame. Like you are your twin flame, and what
Right.
happens is you meet yourself in other beings, like different forms of yourself. But
Mm.
then you can connect with somebody who also is connected to their twin flame, which is still themselves. And
Right.
if both parties can agree to harness their highest selves and anchor it, and keep it sustained in their being, then they can be together as their highest selves. And then that is really like twin flame. But if one person out of the two chooses not, then the twin flame will leave until another person comes that is willing to host and anchor their highest self. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
am I explaining this right? Do you get what I'm saying? Okay.
I
What I
feel
mean is,
exactly what you're saying.
like, it's
And
like, what I mean is,
it all ties in together. It all makes sense.
because what I mean is, like, you know how people would tell stories of like, oh, they were dating somebody, and like they call it the honeymoon phase, but they'll be like, oh, everything was so magical, and then all of a sudden, like, it was just dry, right? And
Right,
then
right.
people would, I feel like it's described like, oh, you guys just probably weren't really compatible, you don't like each other, blah blah blah, and I'm like, it could be all those things, but it also could be that the agreements weren't congruent, and so
Yeah.
the highest selves couldn't align because, like, if let's say if what you said?
No, no, I'm still here. I just turned the what's the name off real quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm still listening.
But yeah, so like, because I think that to align with your truest, I call it soulmate, then both people have to be on a soul mission, right? I think that the point of aligning with what they call twin flames or soulmates is because you're focused on your soul mission, like the reason you're here. Why did you come to Earth? Why did you choose
Right.
this life, right? And that's the highest real reason why you're coming together, and everything else falls underneath that umbrella as far as the human experience that you're having. So, but when you first connect with any of your soulmates or your twin flames, then your souls are gonna recognize each other because y'all signed up to meet, y'all signed up to join each other, y'all signed up to align, right? But then it's still a choice the whole time. It's not like how religious people would look at destiny like, oh, you're forced to do this thing or be this way. It's like, no, you still get to choose every single day if you're going to actually be in agreement and alignment and choose your path, and do the things you came here to do that you said you wanted to do. Like, you get to still choose it. And if you don't, there's going to be effects to that, but you technically are choosing it. And I feel that
Yeah.
when you're in a relation, if somebody along the way doesn't choose that alignment, then the energy that is called like twin flame soulmate energy will leave that relationship. So then it'll be just the humans, right? So now the human person is the ego, the personality, the programming of their life, like all these things that they went through as a human. And now that person might not be aligned with you if you're choosing to be like your higher self on your soul mission. So that's why you'll have to split ways because the agreements have changed. And all that to me is bigger than romanticism and emotions. That's literally frequencies and energies because you can't fake those things. You can't those things aren't based off just temporary feeling.